I just wanted to record a quick video to talk about fear and how we can transform fear in those times like at the moment where things are really uncertain and fear is obviously heightened around the world. So I've come up with 6 key things really, just to help spread some positivity as a coach from my coaching background to help transform the fear that you might be experiencing, or you might know someone who is struggling at the moment, and hopefully this will give some help. So the first thing really is to understand fear. The fear is basically coming from when our ego feels out of control. So the ego, if you're not familiar with that term, or you perhaps won't understand it in the way that I mean it, is when I talk about ego, I mean the conditioned part of us. So the parts of us that are conditioned through our life experiences and as we grow up, that can be fearful, critical. It's the part of us that's self-doubts, and that part, the ego, really needs certainty. And when we don't have it, or when the ego feels out of control, we will subconsciously create ways to feel back in control, which is evident in sort of the panic shopping and things like that. So the question is really, how can we help our ego to feel back in control when we are actually in a situation where we have no control? So one of the things that you can do is focusing on and finding times when you have felt confident in uncertainty. So thinking back through your life, when have you been confident in yourself, or that something's going to turn out okay, even when it was uncertain and you didn't really know and you had no control over the outcome? So by reminding yourself of that can really help calm that part that's feeling out of control down a little bit, and help it focus on, well, what actually can I be confident in, and where can I find a little bit of certainty and support that part of myself. So that's the first thing to really understand, and then to be able to transform your fear. On another note with that, I didn't want to post too much stuff in case people aren't interested or they don't want to see it. So if you want more support with this, particularly with the transforming fear, I am offering 20-minute free coaching sessions for anybody that is struggling with this, where I can help you move through whatever fear you might be experiencing at the moment. And then I've also got a free group, which I'll post the link with this video for, if you wanted a little bit more information, a little bit more support. I'm going to be doing some more in-depth coaching on this in that group, and posting some healing meditations and self-care things that we can do just to help boost the positivity and help everybody feel good at this time. So that's number one, just understanding and transforming any fear that you have. It's about your ego feeling out of control, and how can you help it feel confident? How can you remind yourself of times when you have found confidence in the past? And another tip for this as well is to use the language, which I find really, really helpful. And if you're familiar with the way I work, you'll have heard me talk about this a lot, but using the language, a part of me, instead of I am. So saying I am worried about my elderly parents is quite a big sort of it's a big statement that kind of just like covers everything. Whereas if you say a part of me is worried, then it also gives space in the mind for the other parts of you, and then you can connect to those parts, and actually, but another part of me understands that I am doing what I can, and that they know I love them no matter what, even though I feel helpless at this time. How can you help connect to the parts of you that might feel a little bit differently, even if there is a much bigger part of you that is fearful at the moment? So just using that language really, really helps. The second thing is to think about the community and try and get yourself around positive company. So obviously that might not be physically, it might be remotely now, sort of over video conferencing and phone calls, and just being in contact regularly with people that have a more positive outlook about this, because it can be more draining and we can get sucked into the energy of people that are more in fear, and that can bring out more fear in us, and we're focusing then on what's scary about it rather than any light sides or benefits that might be happening, or helping ourselves feel a little bit better and less stressed about it. Number 3 is to, and kind of in line with that one really, is just focusing in a more light way. So there's polarity in everything. We have a light and a shadow to everything and every experience, even though one of them might be stronger in any experience at any time, there is always the other. So if we focus on finding that, then we can. And so that is just to really, what is the light side of this situation? How could it possibly benefit you? How can it possibly benefit your family and the people you love? And how, might this be benefiting the planet, the world at this time? What are the possible light sides? And by shifting your focus that way will help you feel better. And it's really important to feel as good as you can, because when we are stressed and we are in fear, our cortisol levels and stress levels are elevated, and it can also change our thinking. So when we would normally have a really open, loving perspective, when we're in fear it gets much more narrow, and we can only sort of see more fearful things. And like I said before, it's harder to sort of raise your energy up from that. So by focusing on any light sides, can really help you raise your energetic level and your feelings, improve your feelings, which will have a positive impact on your actions, which will then influence other people as well. And on that note, just about energy, our energy goes where our attention goes. So by shifting your attention to more of the light side, will help overall with the energy that's going on in our communities and in the planet and stuff at the moment. And that kind of brings me on to number 4, which is about reducing stress. So obviously when we are sort of fearful and stressed, and those cortisol levels are higher, so it's just helpful to really take that time to look after yourself and reduce stress by doing activities that have proven to actually reduce stress, such as creative activities, yoga, meditation, walking, connecting with other people. So that's where having phone calls and video calls or connecting with other people in that sort of way will really help sort of reduce those stress levels. And then also, just moving and good nutrition and those kind of things, and really taking care of ourselves and our mind will reduce those levels of stress. And then that leads me nicely on to number 5, which is humour. So I don't know the full stats, and there's quite a few things going around there of how humour affects our body, but it actually has been proven to support the immune system when we are laughing and versus when we're in stress, when it's suppressed. So by just having a laugh with this, there's some funny stuff going around about people making jokes about the situation and quotes, and watching funny movies and just having a laugh will really help also keep your feelings high and your mood high, related to your energy, but it will also support you biologically with your immune system and reducing levels of stress. And then the last thing is really just to, when you find yourself in that fearful place, remembering it's a part of you, and just asking that part of you, how much, how often, and how long do I need to be in this state? And often when you give that part a voice, you will feel instantly better, and you'll find that it might not be as long as you would normally have stayed in that state. So just by saying, okay, I'm here, I'm freaking out, how long do I need, how much and how often? And you'll have a feeling, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's the rest of the day, whatever that is, you're giving that part of you a chance to express what it wants and what it needs at that time, which can be really, really helpful. So if this was a helpful video, please share it, comment, let me know. I want to try and do my best at the moment to get sort of all this good stuff out there and really help people. Like I said, I've got a free coaching group that I've started, so that's on my coaching page if you want to join that. I'm going to be doing some helpful stuff in there, like meditations, and then also if you are struggling, you may claim a free 20-minute coaching session with me as well to help you with the fear or whatever it is that you are worried about. Thanks for watching, and I hope it was helpful. Have a great week, guys.